Hello, I'm Mira Selva from the Reuters Institute for the Study of Journalism, and with me today I've got Bastian Obermayer from the Sueddeutsche Zeitung, the key architect of the journalism behind the Panama Papers and the Paradise Papers. Thank you very much for coming here today.
Happy to be here, sure.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask you really about the Paradise Papers and how you feel your previous investigation with the Panama Papers affected the way you approach this new project, and whether the first one taught you anything.
Well, first we learned that it actually works to work with so many colleagues in so many countries. So we were a lot calmer because we knew we can keep the secret, we can trust our stories. And then we enhanced some methodologies, how we work with the data, and we did more batch searching. So we threw more names over lists in the data and all kinds of stuff. But there's not this key learning, because the Panama Papers worked really well, so we more or less adapted the modus operandi for the Paradise Papers.
So you gained confidence in your own methodologies?
Yes, we were calm on it. It will work out in the end.
And both of these are huge collaborative projects with reporters all around the world, and I'd imagine building trust in this network is really important. How do you build this trust in this network of colleagues, but also keep it open and fair and flexible?
That's the big advantage of the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists, the ICHJ. And we were working with the ICHJ for both projects, and I already had worked with them for the offshore leaks investigation, the Luxembourg leaks investigation, the Swiss leaks investigation. So they knew what they were doing, we knew they were really capable of it, and they had already built the trust. So in the beginning, we only invited colleagues from The Guardian, for example, that we already knew and that we already had worked with in previous investigations. So this was already built, the trust, and then we started to slowly expand the network. We asked colleagues, for example, do you know somebody in Iceland who's a really good reporter that we can trust? And the ICHJ did this, especially Marina Walker. So we were looking for colleagues in so many countries, and it was very hard to work because you always had to do it step after step. First you had to ask, does anybody know somebody in Venezuela? Then you had to contact them, then you had to ask them, are you capable to work with encrypted email? Do you understand the financial world? Would you be able to work collaboratively and share findings? And then in the end, you would tell them what it is we were working on. You could not say, you have the biggest leak of all time, are you in? So it's been a long process, and I'm very glad that I was not in the middle of this, but the ICHJ did this, and they did it terrifically.
And what responsibility do you feel for the journalists in this network? Because we've seen very sadly that this has resulted in repercussions and threats, and in certain cases actual attacks and killings of journalists who have been involved in this. And again, how do you work with this? How do you kind of...
Yeah, we were afraid of all that from the beginning, because when we saw that, it's the best friend of Vladimir Putin and many oligarchs and dictators around the world. So we were afraid, especially about the security of our colleagues on the ground. Not so much our security, because in Germany it's quite safe to work as an investigative journalist. But we trusted in our colleagues that they know how far they could go. We asked them, of course, for example, the Russians, we asked when should we confront the Kremlin? So, because mostly we approach people like 6 weeks before we want to publish. In this case, they said if we give them more than a week, then our publication is dead. So they will just shut off the newspaper. So we only gave them a week, and we did similar things in similar countries. In the end, we were lucky for more than a year because nothing really happened. The colleagues in Russia had to leave the country for a while. I think a colleague in Venezuela got fired, another one in Ecuador got fired, many got harassed. The colleagues in Turkey received death threats, and that was all better than we feared. So we feared, more could happen. In the end, what happened a few weeks ago was that Daphne Caruana Galizia was killed in Malta, but so she was working on the Panama Papers issue, but she was not part of our team, and it's not really clear if why she has been killed. She worked on many crucial stories. She was a very brave reporter that she really challenged everybody in Malta, and it's a very small place, so she has so many enemies that it's not clear until now who killed her and why. And it would be speculation to say it's the Panama Papers or not. I don't really think so, because she challenged mafia guys, and mafia is more likely to kill somebody than your prime minister, so of a EU country. So, but let's wait what happens.
Thank you. And one last question: have you been taken aback by the impact your investigations have had? Talking about the Panama Papers in particular, it led to the resignation of the premiers in Iceland and Pakistan, and you've been accused indirectly of contributing towards Trump's ascension to power.
Yeah, that's something that you really have to learn, that you cannot control it anymore at a certain point. We gave the data, and we worked on many stories. I worked on the Iceland story myself, and a little on the Pakistan story. But there are many stories that I don't even know about, and I only learn about the impact at a certain point. With the whole Russia meddling in the US election, I don't really think that Putin decided this because he was so angry because of the Panama Papers. But when I read it in the New York Times, I had this moment of, oh my God, this is terrible. I mean, it's my fault. But in the end, it's the fault of the American voters who voted for Donald Trump. So I don't think you can blame it on a certain investigation or on a certain thing that happened. But it's still the voters. But it's really what's really fascinating is that something that started in your living room, it got feet and is running away from you, and you can watch the investigation, what it's doing around the world. You see mass demonstrations, you see new laws in Ecuador, in Germany, in India, but it has nothing really anymore to do with you, because I'm not involved in all this. This is really strange for me.
Thank you.
I'm not going to do that.
It's quite unnerving. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Really appreciate
My pleasure.
it.
Thank you very much.